Okay, hi everyone. I'm here to tell you about a certain type of feeling. Some of you might have felt it once or twice in your life. It's called stress. I'd like you to take a moment to picture one of those very stressful days. You spilled the coffee on your shirt in the morning. It's pouring rain while you forgot your umbrella. Your computer jammed, your boss is breathing down your neck, and to top it all off, you're stuck in an endless traffic while going back home. So, what are you likely to do at the end of that day to get some of the stress off? I'm a teacher, so multiple choice questions are my thing. Please raise your hands. Are you likely to perhaps go for a run, sweat it off? Not many. Call your mom or a friend to nag about it? Yeah. Double whiskey on the rocks? Or maybe you'd want to take it out on food. Anyone? Okay. The thing is, stress causes many physiological changes. Rapid heartbeat, increased respiration, more blood flow to the muscles, but it can also cause changes in eating behavior. So let's go back to that stressful day and consider that you opted for food. What type of foods would you choose to deal with the stress? I'm sure some of you would go with a nice organic salad, varied vegetables, not very popular. Grilled fish, perhaps, with a side of vegetables? No. Fresh fruit, anyone? Okay, maybe something lighter then. A juicy burger with shiny fries, followed by a nice glazed donut. Yeah, that's more like it. So, stress causes changes in eating behavior and in craving. But the thing is, it's not any foods that we go for. It's usually more of the salty, sugary, or fatty types, which also, unfortunately, happen to be the unhealthy ones. They're associated with weight gain and increased risk for chronic diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. We also call these foods, these types of foods, comfort foods. But the question is, do the comfort foods really comfort the stress, as their name suggests? And this was the core of my research in the past years. Now, as you can imagine, having a bunch of humans in a lab inflicting stress and looking at their eating behavior is not exactly ethical. So my work was mostly in animal models, didn't really want to end up in jail. Now, how can we mimic everyday human stress in animals? When you think about it, the stress that we have every day is not predictable, it's not variable. We're not exposed to the same stressor every day at the same time, or else we'd get used to it and probably become immune. So we use what is called the chronic variable stress model in rats or mice. In this model, we expose the animals to a different stressor every day at a different time. So the poor rat or mice gets exposed, for example, to a flashing light or to space reduction, sometimes a cage tilt, and this really mimics the unexpected stressors that we are faced with. Now, there's also a way to mimic comfort diets or comfort foods in animals, and it's called the Cafeteria Diet. So, the lucky animals get the choice between tasty, addictive items like chocolate, cookies, peanut butter, and they can also opt for their traditional food pellets, so that they really have the choice. So here comes our first result. Animals given a cafeteria diet had significantly lower stress hormone levels when exposed to chronic variable stress compared to animals on a balanced diet with the standard food. So then we wondered about another component of comfort food or comfort meals, and it's your famous soft drink. And guess what? Same thing. Animals given sugar-sweetened beverages, the equivalent of soft drink, had also lower stress hormone levels compared to animals given water as a drink. So, yes, comfort food and drinks are associated with a decrease in stress hormone levels, but our experiments also showed that they cause an increase in body weight gain, an increase in body fat, an increase in disease risk. Plus, these foods, these comfort foods, are somewhat addictive and increase cravings, so you end up wanting more and eating more and more and more and more. Also, you know that body weight gain can itself be a source of stress, so it becomes like a vicious circle. So then we asked ourselves, is there another factor that could alleviate stress without the drawbacks of comfort foods? And so we added a new variable to our studies, which is enriched environment. So what is environmental enrichment? It's simply adding active and fun items to the animals' cages, such as running wheels, toys, things like that. Translation into humans would be, the equivalent would be opportunities for learning and development, a supportive environment, physical activity, good nutrition. And guess what we found? Animals housed in enriched cages had significantly lower stress hormone levels compared to animals housed in plain cages, and this was regardless of whether they were given a cafeteria diet or a balanced diet. Okay, very nice. What does that mean? Okay, in real life. What it means is that comfort foods can comfort stress, but they're more like a quick fix that can backfire. Okay? And they're not the only nor the most efficient way to comfort stress. We can enrich our environment. How do we enrich our environment? We're not rats. We enrich our environment by changing our lifestyle. And changing a lifestyle does not mean turning your life upside down or making changes that are not sustainable, unrealistic. Okay? Changing your lifestyle means changing little things. Little things that become part of your life in a way that you don't think about them anymore, and that really make a difference. And I'm going to tell you about them. First of all, relaxation techniques. Relaxation does not necessarily mean meditating or taking a yoga class. It can mean this, but actually making a point of going to a movie once a week, or to a restaurant once a week, or taking up a hobby, or simply doing things that are outside of your routine can reduce significantly stress levels. Having a social circle, a supportive circle of friends. And no, it's not enough to have someone to call, to vent, or to nag at the end of the day. Having a nice, healthy social circle is proven to take your mind off of your own problems. Third is physical activity. Any type of physical activity. Any type. I'm not only talking about going to the gym or playing a basketball game. Any type is associated with an increase in the brain's feel-good neurotransmitters called endorphins. It can help you sleep better. It can help you have more energy and reduce stress. Any type means that you can just walk the hallway to go talk to your coworker instead of picking up the phone. It means, of course, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. All of this accumulates. It simply walking around, taking a 2-minute walk during commercials while watching TV can make a difference, especially food commercials. And last but not least, healthy eating. A well-nourished body is better able to cope with stress. So you need to start with breakfast, and you need to keep your body nourished by eating healthy meals throughout the day. Actually, skipping meals or starving yourself is associated with higher stress levels and almost always increased cravings and overeating and overcompensating later in the day. Getting rid of addictions such as coffee, or at least reducing your intake to 2 cups a day can contribute in reducing anxiety and feeling better. Finally, including fruits and vegetables at most meals during the day can also be very beneficial. So, there is no magic way to fight stress, okay? But we can make these little changes, and these little sustainable changes that I told you about are shown that they will not only decrease your stress levels to begin with, but if you are faced with stress, they will decrease your urge to overeat or to go for unhealthy options. So really, the key is in our hands. When will you choose to make peace with your body? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nadine. Now, are there any questions for Nadine in the audience? Is that a hand up at the front? No. Any questions? Any questions? Oh, yeah, we do have one at the front here. Thank you.
It strikes me that researchers are amongst the most stressed of workers. Can you comment on that and your role as a researcher, and how do you mediate your stress?
Okay, that's a good question. I agree with you that researchers tend to be very stressed, especially that usually they have many roles, especially in the academic setting. And PhD students are also very stressed, especially because of publication, the pressure to publish and the pressure to get money. And actually, I got interested in this topic, especially that I'm surrounded with people, and I used to be surrounded with co-workers who are constantly eating and constantly have these snacks to cope with stress. So definitely changing the discipline, the eating discipline at the workplace, and using these relaxation techniques. And one of the things that was discussed earlier in the panel is the fact that we're more conscious about work and personal life balance. And this is very important as well in decreasing stress levels in general and decreasing the urge to go for the unhealthy foods and snacks.
Okay. Thank you. Any further questions? There's one right in the back corner over there.
Yes, my field is environmental psychology, and I agree with everything you said. But one thing I think you missed, at least what I look at, is a view of nature really helps reduce stress. So if you're at work and you have a view of nature from your work spot, that really helps. If you work in a windowless area, your stress levels go up and your work satisfaction really goes down. So I also want to push that a view of nature, especially a view of trees, is very, very important for reducing stress.
I couldn't agree more on this. I don't have the scientific evidence. I have the personal evidence. It's one of the reasons I went back to my home country, to have a view of the sea and to be in the sun. And I think it makes a huge difference. But to be honest, I didn't study that in my lab. But definitely, I couldn't agree more.
Okay, one final question here in the middle.
Hi, my field is in cultural heritage, but what I'm wondering is whether you have taken into account of the cultural difference in terms of what people see as stress, because sometimes people in this society feel like it's such a stress, but not so much in another culture, and by understanding the other culture actually would reduce the stress level. I'm speaking out of personal experience, so I'm, wondering what you think.
I also couldn't agree more. Now, the work that I presented today was animal research, so we don't really culturally sort our rats and mice. However, I do work a lot in eating disorders, and I'd say disordered eating, emotional eating, eating restraint, so everything that affects eating emotionally and externally. And yes, in that case, you definitely need to have culturally specific studies, and you can see in 2 different cultures completely different results. So yes, then it is about really looking at what stresses certain types of people, what is also what is valued culturally and socially, etc. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Thank
Nadine.
you.